Yeah, and we have to keep in mind that we're made in God's image. And a lot of times, the only version of God people are going to see on earth is through godly husbands, godly fathers.
Yes.
And when we're falling short, when we're harsh to our wives, people are going to see a harsh God. When
Yeah.
we see fathers that are cruel to their children, we're showing an example of a cruel God.
Anywhere else.
Look at the example in Scripture, right? You have the wealthy people paying the tithe, and then you have the widow giving the 2 pence. And what does God says? The widow who gave the 2 pence gave more because she
Yeah.
gave out of her what she didn't have. She gave out of her lack. And I think that principle, like every principle in Scripture, can definitely be transferred over to husbands and fathers, right? Like if you're a deadbeat husband and father and you don't have a job, spending time with your wife and children is no big feat. But when you work 16 hours a day like Dale, taking more time out of your day to spend with your child and to teach them and to bond with them and to bond with your wife, that's the same principle as the widow. You gave from what you didn't have. And it's
Yeah.
going to go so much further than the guy who lays at home all day and hangs out with the family.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
it does. It starts in the church. Like it goes back to the pastors. And that's why the scripture tells us, for many reasons, but this also, that it's not good for many people to seek the position of teacher because too many sissy boy men think God called them to be pastors and he didn't. And too many chauvinistic pigs think they were called to be pastors and they didn't. I know a lot of people out there love the pastors that beat the podium, but all I can think about is there's a good chance you're beating other stuff when you go home. You know, I don't want to see an angry pastor. I want to see a
Me
kind,
too.
compassionate pastor, but I
Yes.
also don't want to see a pastor who's going to go home and refill the tampon dispenser. Like, be a man, go home and lead your family, but don't beat your family.
Yeah.
There's a balance, and that's why God
Yeah.
doesn't call everyone to be men,
Yes.
or I'm sorry, to be pastors. I mean, me personally, and I know I'm kind of the exception to the rule on these type of feelings, but I hate seminaries. Like I hate them with a righteous hatred because you don't go to seminaries most of the time to learn the Bible. You go to become more Baptist, more Pentecostal, or more Lutheran. And all you learn is how to defend your denomination's leanings. You don't learn what God cares about. You just don't. Like you spend all that money and time being brainwashed into a denomination. I hate seminaries.
I'm not a fan of them either. I've watched a lot of people and what they taught there and so forth.